pitch black outside and we're running out. We're going to Vienna. We have to get a super early morning flight from Limoges. I just hope we make it on time. We got to the car, but it's covered in ice. Oh, it must be freezing out there. And plus, we don't really have the time for this. And it's certainly not as though we can rush on these roads. Very, very shortly after leaving Lalande, we went into a skid, which controlled majestically. I have to say, Philip was incredible.
I wasn't going fast.
No, you were going really slowly already, but then that sent him from slow to crawl. A gentle trot beside the vehicle would have been faster, and up until then it was tiny windy lanes. Now we're okay, the motorway's been salted, daylight has started, and we're making up for lost time. So we have no idea whether we're going to be allowed onto the plane or not. I think we've made it. We managed to check in the bag 2 minutes, literally exactly 2 minutes before they closed check-in for luggage. You look utterly traumatized. We're meeting my aunt and uncle in London and getting the next flight to Vienna from there. Astonishingly, going all the way via London was 5 times cheaper than flying from Paris to Vienna. I can't believe we made it. Cheers. Oh, to a wonderful trip together. Exploring Vienna, and I think some little antique shops perhaps.
That would be nice.
The moment I thought would never happen. All together, all getting onto the same plane. Goodness, that's beautiful. But just nice to strike you as quite close from other planes. We are definitely in Vienna. And this is the Hotel Imperial, where we'll be spending the next couple of days. Attila's showing us to the rooms. It's very exciting. Let's give the nicest one to my aunt and uncle.
Okay.
After you. Huh?
Not up to you then. I don't want this filmed.
What? Your Dr. Smith's bag? It's very elegant.
Antiques.
We are travelling in style. It's beautiful. I hadn't seen round the corner.
To the right, you have 2 balconies.
What a view.
Separate bath and shower, of course.
Wow. And I just spotted the toiletries. Oh, I love that. Okay, shall we carry on?
It is just next door.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Same amenities, so.
Thank you. Oh, it's beautiful. I love it. I love the wall covering.
It's for everybody the first time in Vienna, or did you also already?
We've been before, but it's our first.
Excellent.
Thank you. It's amazing. Thanks.
Thank you.
I can't believe there's a bottle of champagne. Oh, I do like a little cloche in the room. That makes it.
Yes.
That's so nice.
Hello, may we join you?
Oh, please.
Thank you so much.
This is wonderful.
I know. I'm so happy. I can't stop grinning.
Magnificent.
Oh my
I like
goodness.
the TV is framed. I love hidden drawers.
To a wonderful holiday together. Cheers.
Together. Cheers.
We've decided we're just going to stay in the hotel because we've been travelling now for, what time is it? I think 14 hours since this morning. We're exhausted. So we're just going to go downstairs to a little cafe. We'll have some local Viennese recipes and then a very, very early night. Lovely, thank you. Oh my goodness, Tatiana, I'm so glad we said we were sharing half because there is no way that I could eat that by myself. So good. I like the little sides.
Me too.
That's the best bit about that.
You love the creamy spinach, don't you?
Oh, the horseradish is the bit that scares me. I'm getting flashbacks.
Last time we were in Vienna, Steph was having some of like to try. She I know grated cheese, so I couldn't have it anyway. And she was like, "Oh, I don't know if you can get this down because it's so hot." And usually she's the one that's fine with like heat.
So I kept trying to like
Add more cheese
to like water it down. It was horseradish. I've been adding more and more and more. Until I was at tears. It was good though. Oh, that cleared the sinuses. Dinner was delicious, but the whole time I just kept thinking about this. So I didn't have dessert, especially because I knew these little cakes were waiting for us. I don't know what I'm more excited about. The room, the cake, or my dressing gown. It was a gift ages ago. And when I was packing to come here, I thought, I know what's going to feel imperial and Austrian. I'm not sure Philip thinks it's my sexiest dressing gown, but come on, Philip, what is not to love about this?
You do look elegant, actually.
Thank you very much.
What a beautiful vis-a-vis.
You see, Philip?
Gorgeous. You look splendid.
But it's like, it's not the sexiest one.
It's not the sexiest.
No, it's not. It's
Very demure.
elegant and
Vis-a-vis,
frivolity.
it should always be luxurious.
Yeah.
Not,
Yes. Look, cake and dressing gown.
Yes. Where's your television? Investigate the cupboard.
My uncle's told me I have to investigate this cupboard. This is the one cupboard I didn't open. I've literally just
It's
unpacked
Pandora's
everything.
box.
Oh,
Oh. The minibar. We were saying there wasn't a minibar.
is that a cat?
No. There's. Oh, hallelujah. We were literally
All your
saying,
prayers have
we
been
love this
answered.
hotel so much, but there's no tea and coffee making facilities.
More magic.
Oh, wow. Oh, look at that.
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I always travel with tea bags.
Oh.
Corkscrew. You say straight in with corkscrew. I always travel with tea bags just in case there's a turtle. My entire experience of the Imperial so far is best summed up by it's the sort of hotel where you keep your earrings on in the bath. We had the best night's sleep and we're going to go down and meet my aunt and uncle for breakfast. But first, I want to tell you a little bit more about this amazing hotel. It has a pretty fascinating history. This astonishingly beautiful hotel was actually built in the 1860s as a wedding present from Duke Philip for his wife, Maria Theresia, who was a member of the Habsburg dynasty. He clearly wanted to impress her, and at the time, the Emperor Franz Josef was actually giving some money to any noble families who would build beautiful homes on a new boulevard he was creating around the city, the Ringstrasse. There used to be medieval walls surrounding the center of Vienna, but it was becoming incredibly crowded there. And Franz Josef wanted to knock down those walls that weren't serving a purpose anymore and expand the city. Duke Philip took him up on the offer and he was one of the first to do so, which means that once he'd moved in, the rest of the street was still under construction and it was noisy and it was loud, and they thought, no, we can't live in a building site for the rest of our lives. So they decided to sell this amazing palace. There was a World Fair coming up in Vienna in 1873 and the city needed a lot more accommodation. So this palace was bought and reopened as a hotel, and at that point they made some changes. The beautiful reception that you walk into now had originally just been an open doorway for the carriages to come in. The whole ground floor was given to the stables, and all of the reception rooms and the bedrooms were on the first and second floors, which is why there's a little quirk to this hotel. You come up a stairway that looks very nice and you think it will continue in the same vein around the corner, but in fact no. When you turn around the corner, this is what you see. It is the most spectacular staircase because in fact at the base of the stairs is where the carriages would arrive, and so as people came up the stairs and turned, this was their entrance to the palace itself, and this is unchanged from the original palace. So if we go up here, I'll tell you a little bit more about the building. This statue dominates the staircase, and she is the spirit of the Danube. Now, she's sort of the opposite from your usual mermaid, because mermaids, sirens usually lure sailors to their death, whereas her role is to protect sailors. Legend has it that she keeps the fishermen safe and protects them from drowning. She has always been here, but not in this spot. She was originally downstairs, just after the area in which the carriages would arrive, which was a courtyard covered with a glass roof. And now, if you follow me up to the noble floor, I've got a treat in store for you. We are super lucky because Sarah is going to show us the royal suite. So just imagine the people who've stayed here over the years. Oh, look at the wardrobe.
Yes, it is indeed beautiful. Turn on the lights.
Oh my
The watered
goodness.
silk everywhere.
Oh, I'm going to see this after you.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness.
That is incredible.
Yeah, it is. It is magnificent.
Oh, and the dressing table. Yes. Imagine getting ready for a Viennese ball in this
Yes,
room.
it is a dream.
And the chaise longue. This is my
Yeah.
favourite type
Yeah.
of furniture. So
Yeah.
as long as there's a chaise longue in the room,
It's
I'm
so
super
vintage.
happy. But it keeps on going.
Yes. So this is the bedroom, and then we also have a living room.
With a dining area.
Yes, of course.
So originally, would this have been a bedroom when it was a palace, or would these have been the reception rooms?
This was the music room, yes, because you can see all of the instruments.
Ceiling heights are incredible.
Yes, yes.
Just to give you an idea of the ceiling height.
You can open all of the doors and connect the whole front of the hotel. So that was their apartments.
So it's the same as actually the French system with the reception rooms that have doors that open all the way through, so you can just walk through.
Yes, exactly.
The bed.
Yeah.
I mean, you feel like a princess.
Yes, it's antique also.
And on the bed crown, there's the lion and stag. Is that the emblems?
There's the lion and the deer. The lion stands for strength and the deer for extension of the kingdom. So yeah, you can find it everywhere in the house. It's their coat of armor of the Württembergs.
So strength and expansion.
Yes.
You wouldn't want to mess with them, would you?
The stove is the same that we saw in Schönbrunn and in Hofburg.
Yeah, but it does not work anymore. It's original, but it does not work anymore, unfortunately.
I love those stoves.
Yeah.
They're spectacular.
Yeah, they're also typical for Vienna. There were a lot of these back in the day.
Well, I'll be very happy to settle in, actually. What do you reckon, Philip?
To get the bags.
You can imagine the people who've stayed in this room. I mean, to name just a few, Michael Jackson, Lady Gaga, Madonna, and Queen Elizabeth. But apparently things were very different when Queen Elizabeth came to stay because she didn't want to be staying in a hotel bed. So a bed was brought from one of the museums in Vienna, a kingly bed, which a king had slept in the past. That was installed here, along with paintings from the museums in Vienna as well. So all of the furniture in the room was changed, and the hotel were left with various problems that they had to work out. Problems of decorum and etiquette. For example, you can't have people just sitting around when the Queen is walking past them, but how could they ask other guests to stand? They didn't want to disturb the other guests. So in the lobby, they removed all of the chairs so that nobody could be sitting if the Queen happened to walk through. But it's not just the Queen who is looked after very specially. If you stay here for €6,000 a night, you get your own butler who will iron your newspaper in the morning, but maybe fulfill other requests. For example, somebody asked for a mass every morning, so the sitting room was turned into a small private chapel, and the priest from St. Stephen's Cathedral would come here each morning to give her mass. I'm so excited about who's stayed in the room and things they've done in the room. Philip, very excited about the pocket doors.
This kind of pocket doors, you know.
Where it's a proper door. Oh, that's solid. With a little crown on it, of course.
Smooth as well. With the crown. Oh yes.
The door handles, they are original. As you can see, there's a P and a W, which is Philipp von Württemberg. So they are original.
And with the crown as well on top.
Yes.
Just in case you forget how important you are in your own home.
Yeah.
Very important. The crown
That's
on your
true.
door.
Just to remember who
Shall we
is
look at
the
the
boss.
photo?
Sure. Yeah.
Don't you want to get ready for a ball right now? I absolutely love it.
Yeah. This one's also very antique, very nice.
Yes, and it's part of the same set, isn't it? So you
Yeah.
have the entire antique set,
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
bedroom set,
Yes.
covered in frolicking cupids.
Yes.
Just what you need for a good night's sleep.
Yes.
Just found another dressing room in case that massive antique wardrobe isn't enough.
For all the ball gowns,
Oh, yes, because you'd need a different ball gown for every night, wouldn't you?
I would
If you're
say
staying in
so.
this room. Certainly. Well, thank you so much for
Of course,
sharing
it's
us.
my pleasure.
This is the emperor who was indirectly responsible for the building of this palace. Franz Josef, who ordered the defensive walls of the city to be torn down and who wanted this wonderful boulevard to be built. But if you ever come to visit Vienna, you will of course hear about Franz Josef, but you will hear a lot more about his wife, the Empress Sisi. Sisi was probably the Princess Diana of her day. She was famous throughout the world. She was considered one of the most beautiful women in the world, famous for her absolutely tiny waist, which you can see in this portrait by Winterhalter, one of the most famous portraits taken of her in her beautiful ball gown with her dark hair covered in diamond stars. She was also famous for her hair, which was so long she could comfortably sit on it, and she would spend hours with her hairdresser creating these wonderful hairstyles every single day. She's rather a tragic figure.
Imperial life did not suit her at all. She hated the stuffy conventions of life in the Austrian court. She couldn't bear her mother-in-law, Sophie, Franz Josef's mother. Sophie was the real ruler in the Viennese court. In fact, she was described by her contemporaries as the only man in the Viennese court, and she kept a very watchful eye on her daughter-in-law, going so far as taking her children away from her and raising them herself. So Sissi felt totally removed from her own family, and in fact she decided to leave altogether, living all around the world. She spent a lot of time in England where hunting was her great passion. She was a formidable horsewoman, and she did everything she could to avoid Austria. Things were made much worse years later when her son, Rudolf, the heir to the Austrian Empire, committed suicide along with his mistress because he wasn't allowed to leave his wife Stephanie to be with his mistress. He and his mistress had met for a tryst in Meierling, the family's hunting estate, where he'd first shot his mistress and then killed himself. Sissi spent the rest of her life in mourning, wearing only black, until she herself was assassinated in Switzerland. Although they had spent most of their married life living in different countries, when hearing of her death, Franz Josef said, "You cannot imagine how much I love this woman." Although it ended in tragedy, I must say she had the most fascinating life, and I really recommend, if you're interested in finding out more about her, I've just been reading a novel about her called The Reluctant Empress, which is a novel based on her life, but really do look into it. It is fascinating. We're going to head down for breakfast now, but on the way I will show you the old stables, which are more exciting than they sound. It's hard to imagine it, but we are standing in the area that used to be the stables when this was built as a palace. And I'll just show you what's happened to the horse boxes now. Quite some horse boxes, hey? When it became a hotel in 1873, they realised that they needed reception rooms. So this side of the stables and the other side were turned into two spectacular rooms. This one's actually already been set up for a very grand dinner that will be here tonight. They just haven't put the chairs out yet. This one is covered in the most mysterious arabesques. You'll see there are devilish figures and then angels. It's the most mysterious decoration, and no one in the hotel knows exactly what the symbolism of it was. The meaning has been lost in time. I absolutely love the floors here. They're unlike anything that we see in France or in the UK. Absolutely splendid. And you can imagine what sumptuous stables they were, because look at the ceiling height. Just for the stables. This is not the floor on which the family would have lived. This is just the area they would have arrived in the carriages before leaving their horses and going up to the main palace. And now we're in the other room, which is also stables, and this one has been prepared for the same party tonight. They will be leaving their coats here and having a quick glass of champagne before going through to dinner. And there's a completely different decorative theme in this room. Here we have frolicking cupids and all sorts of exotic creatures. So we have beautiful exotic birds, a monkey, and the most exotic creature of them all, the squirrel. All right, Philip, breakfast.
Right.
A lot of very different breakfasts going on today. That's your second round, is it?
Yes, we had the first fried pound. He thought with the snow outside, he bet.
Yes,
Fill it in a
even though
stone.
the snow is barely 1 millimetre.
It's slush.
Philip has gone for a totally different direction.
It's more bizarre than my shirt.
It's got a very
Goes very well.
nursery feel to it, doesn't it?
I was thinking Andy Pandy.
It's only the first course.
Ah, okay. Tatinette, continental smorgasbord. I'm the only one who ordered something from the kitchen, but look at this. Scrambled eggs on sourdough bread
Isn't it?
with pumpkin oil. Oh dear, you look as though it's going to be a big day.
I'm fatigued already. Just thinking about it.
You know, a glass of champagne.
I'll be asleep on your shoulder the whole day.
It was the perfect day out, and now we've just got time to get changed for the opera, an opera by Puccini, which some say was the world's first spaghetti western. Do you realise that we are already late for dinner?
Well, that's why I came to knock on the door.
You thought we weren't ready?
Well, no, I didn't even know you were here.
Look at this!
You
Boom,
look
we are ready.
amazing.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Excellent socks, may I say?
Oh, look.
Bees, very good.
Yeah.
Very good indeed.
Royal.
I'm beginning to realise why they put our two rooms at the end of a cul-de-sac, so that no one else can see the goings and goings in our corridor.
If you wish, there's a little gin and tonic, a côté.
Gosh, thank you very much. Here we come. Now we're going to watch an opera that we know nothing about, apparently the spaghetti western. All I know is that Minnie lives in the local gold miners' camp, and the sheriff is in love with her, and I believe that a local bandit is also in love with her. And who gets together with whom? Well, only time will tell. I'm sorry I won't be able to film any of the opera for you, but I'll let you know how it goes afterwards.
I'll show you how all of the boxes are laid out. There's these wonderful padded doors so that it keeps nice and quiet in the main room. There must have been so much intrigue in the past with people just sneaking out of their boxes, going to chat to people who snuck out of other boxes, and frankly, if an entire family just have their own box, there must have been some of them who found it quite boring, who were just napping on the floor of the box, and everyone must have been here, not just to see the performance, but to be seen and to see who else was here, and especially to see who they were with. And it's actually surprisingly private, even within each box. I'll just give you a little tour of ours whilst there's no one in here. Each box has a little antechamber where you can hang your coats, but also where you can come back and chat to people without being seen by anyone else in the auditorium. And then there's the front area of the box, which is of course completely public to everyone else in the room. It's really very ingenious. This is amazing. We are going to have subtitles in English. And actually that's an absolutely huge relief, otherwise I've had no clue what was going on.
Italian. As good as your Dutch. You got a chatelaine. I've never seen anything like it.
I think I'm more excited to see the building even than I am to see the opera. Do come in, do join us. Well, we paused for the interval and I just wanted to show you all the bar. It's the most beautiful, beautiful room with chandeliers going all the way along. It's quite a magical experience. We've just got back from the opera and I'm sure you're dying to know, but at the end she ran off with the bandit. The sheriff didn't stand a chance. The bandit was much sexier, but also, of course, he changed his ways for her and they escaped. Though I have to say, I don't think any of us thought it was our favourite Puccini opera. Great though the singers and the orchestra were.
Sort of grunge.
Grunge opera. Yeah, Puccini in the Wild West, I'm not sure. The room has been turned down for the night, and my favourite thing about it is that they put a tiny little bit of their famous torte, a little marzipan and chocolate cake, on the pillow every night. And I'm going to have mine with a nice cup of tea whilst I do tonight's editing. Good night to you all from Vienna, and à demain.